Hey y'all, happy Thursday. Welcome back to another live segment. I am in the bedroom today. Me and my boyfriend are both on meetings at the same time. So we needed to figure out how we were going to best share the space. But I'm so excited for today and the live segment. I actually need to schedule out the remainder of the lives because we are still walking through. We are still walking through the CEO Stylist traits. And today we're talking about optimism. We're talking about optimism, y'all. Being open minded, shifting your perspective, and seeing things in a more positive light. So, as a CEO stylist, it's definitely a trait that you need to have because otherwise, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to stress yourself out. You're going to be frustrated. There are going to be a lot of things that may not go your way. There are going to be a lot of things that may not work out the way that you expected them to. And the important thing about being a CEO stylist is having that optimism, being optimistic about the future, about the things that are happening to you, about your current circumstances. I know for a very long time, for most of my career, to be honest with y'all, I didn't have a positive mindset. I was always wondering why I was chosen to go through certain things, why things that I wanted to happen to me were happening to other people, why so and so was getting certain opportunities and why I wasn't. It was so many different thoughts, mostly negative thoughts that were going through my mind as a stylist throughout my journey. And to be honest, it kept me very stagnant. I was focusing a lot of energy on things that I didn't need to focus energy on. And it wasn't beneficial. It wasn't helpful to me at all. So I want to encourage you today to be more optimistic. So I have about 3 to 4 speaking points that I'm going to touch on today regarding this topic. And I also want to talk through what optimism actually is. So, real quick, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kristen Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of Project Style University, where I help first generation personal stylists transform their love for styling into a profitable business. I do that through mentorship, I do that through coaching, group coaching, and one on one coaching. And I also do that through these YouTube videos and live segments. I have not posted any educational videos for stylists in a while, but I will be getting back to that once this characteristic CEO stylist characteristic series is over. But other than that, I'm excited for the month of August, y'all. A lot has happened in July that I did not even expect would happen, to be honest with you. I didn't really go into July expecting much of anything. I just wanted to enjoy my summer. I just wanted to be around friends and family, and I just wanted to have a good time. And today is the last day of July, and so much has happened within the last 31 days. And a lot of good things, a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have considered to be good things. But when you're optimistic, you have to see things in a good way at all times. So July was an interesting month for me, and I'm thankful that I was able to get through it. But I'm super excited for August. If you're on the mailing list for Project Style University, and or if you're in the Hey Stylist community, then you know that we are starting a 30-day content challenge tomorrow. I already started posting today because I did my July dump and my review of the month of July. But tomorrow, our Style to Show Up challenge officially starts on August 1st, which is Friday. So I've been prepping my content topics, I've been prepping my captions, my actual content. I actually need to do the voiceover for the content that I'm posting tomorrow. Let me write that down. This is me in real time, being a CEO stylist. So write down record voiceover for real. I already have the caption planned out, but I need to make sure that I do the voiceover and also make sure that the video, the reel, is edited to my liking. But other than that, I'm excited for that content challenge. It's going to be literally for 30 days, posting every single day. And, it's going to be different for me because I've never done anything like this before. I did plan it out. I have my topics ready to go, have a lot of my captions ready to go, but I'm also open. I'm being optimistic to this journey and this experience, and I'm open to deviating away, if that's the right word, from my plan and from my content calendar. So as long as I come to it with a plan and all my ideas and all of that, we'll see what happens. I'm very open to this experience. And why am I doing it? Of course, I want to increase my visibility. I want to increase my reach, but I also want to start securing brand partnerships. And in order for brands to see the quality of content that I create, I have to create the content, right? So I'm in the process of finishing up my media kit, my brand kit to send to brands. And with that, I am also going to be adding to the content that I post every single day. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. But without further ado, let's hop into today's live segment because like I always say, don't want to take up too much of y'all's time. So first, let's talk about what optimism is. So optimism is the practice of maintaining a hopeful and positive outlook about the future, even in the face of challenges or uncertainty. It's the belief that good things are possible, opportunities are always ahead, and setbacks are temporary. So, y'all, if y'all have watched my Faith Talk series, if y'all have been keeping up with my social media content, then you know I recently was laid off. I even talked about it in the last live segment that I did last week. And for most people, a layoff is very scary. No more money, no more job. You got to find somewhere else to work, figure it out. But for me, and what I'm trying to encourage you and other people to do, and to see it in that way, for me, it's an opportunity to shift, an opportunity to change, an opportunity to pivot. My season at that job is now up, and it's now given me the space and the time to focus on other things like my business, like my communities, like everything else that I'm working on, content creation, my YouTube channel, all those things. Y'all, I'm literally about to hit 1K subscribers on my YouTube. Now, I would love to hit it by tomorrow to kick off July or kick off August. We'll see. I'm being open. I'm being optimistic about this. I actually want to text a few people today to make sure that they're subscribed and following me because I literally need like probably less than 40 people to follow me. But, you know, me getting laid off from this job, I've been laid off at this time 4 times from a job. So this isn't new to me. And just because this isn't new to me doesn't mean that I still can't feel a way about it. It did catch me off guard. It was a little upsetting. The timing wasn't perfect in my eyes. But this layoff, and I would say the other layoffs that I've had, have really molded me for this one specifically. And it's really pushing me to do more, to show up more, to be more visible, to share my story, to be transparent, to show up, to show up. So I'm so excited for this new chapter and where it's leading me. And I just pray that, my obedience increases, my faith continues to increase, my trust in God increases as well during this time, and just allowing Him to move through my life the way that He's supposed to move. So I want to encourage you to be optimistic when it comes to those setbacks that happen. Everything happens for a reason, and everybody is always experiencing something that they may not want to go through. Whether you've just been laid off, whether you're concerned about how you're going to pay your rent, whether you're concerned about how you're going to pay your bills, whether you don't necessarily know where you're going to school next year, whether you don't necessarily know where you're going to live in the next couple of months. Everybody is always coming up on some type of adversity, but it's all in how you perceive it and it's all in how you handle it. So for a CEO stylist, optimism means approaching your styling business with confidence that your efforts will pay off. So knowing that your value and your talents and your gifts and your skills are more than enough, regardless of what other stylists look like and the type of things that they're doing. And also, regardless of how many clients you have, regardless of how many people compliment you on what you're doing and the skills that you have, regardless of all of that, optimism as a CEO stylist is about approaching your styling business with confidence. It's also about seeing challenges as opportunities for growth instead of permanent roadblocks. So I always talk about this. Everything happens for a reason. Not every client is going to want to work with you. Not every client is going to have a great experience with you. Not everybody is going to love what you put together. Not every opportunity that you apply for or every opportunity that you um, inquire about is going to be what you receive. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that you are lacking anything. That doesn't mean that you need to be better. It really just means that it just wasn't meant for you and it wasn't created for you. Also means that there's something out there that's better for you. That client probably wasn't the client that you wanted to work with anyway, regardless of who they were and what they looked like and how much money they had to spend. So you have to be open to the no's. You have to be open to the pivots. And I get that it's important to plan. I get that it's important to, you know, really prepare for what it is that you're wanting to do and trying to do, but also be open to what God is doing. A lot of the times we plan and prepare, and the things that we plan and prepare for, sometimes our plan isn't the plan that, is supposed to be taking place. Sometimes it's supposed to happen in a completely different way. So you can have your plan, you can prepare, but don't be so what's the word I'm looking for? Set in your ways. Be open to doing something different. So even with this challenge, like I said earlier, I'm open to kind of deviating away from my content calendar. And posting something else that may, that I may feel led to post about, as opposed to what I already had planned. And I can always go back to my plan. I can always go back to, my content calendar. But just being open. For a CEO stylist, optimism also means believing in your ability to attract the right clients, collaborations, and results. So no comparing yourself, no feeling like you aren't where you're supposed to be because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And then just believing that you have the ability to secure any opportunity that you want to secure and or any opportunity and client that is meant for you to secure. So, optimism is the mindset that fuels persistence and success. If I were to have allowed the adversity and the setbacks and all the things that have happened to me throughout my journey stop me from pursuing my styling career, pursuing my speaking career, my coaching career, all of those things, I would not be here talking to y'all today. I would not be here running a whole coaching company for personal stylists. I would not be here speaking to a community of stylists who are looking for resources and looking for guidance. I would not be here for that because I would have given up a long, long time ago. So it's so important to be open to the process and really shift your mindset. So hopefully y'all can hear me because it looks like the connection is unstable. But we're gonna keep it moving. So let's go back up to my notes. So I have 4 speaking points for today. So how optimism shapes your success as a stylist. Number 1, optimism fuels resistance. As a stylist, you'll face rejection, slow seasons, and unexpected challenges. So usually from being in the industry for 10 plus years, 12 years literally this month, I've noticed that typically the summertime, it's pretty slow. But it's kind of hard to gauge because every year is so different. I know I actually booked a client in the middle of July last week. So, it does not every season is going to look the same. Not every season is going to be consistent. So, really, really making sure that you are using that optimism to fuel your resilience. So it also means maintaining a positive outlook helps you to bounce back faster and see opportunities where others see obstacles. So, for example, if you feel as though the summer season is pretty slow for you, use that time to regroup, use that time to rest, use that time to rebuild your business. Go through all of your processes, make sure everything is set and ready to go when a client does book. Go ahead and reconfigure your offers and see what you can make better. Maybe create an ebook that you could sell, answering questions that people always have questions about, or teaching your clients how to do certain things. Maybe you can focus on speaking engagements. Maybe you can start hosting your own events. So instead of sitting back sulking, saying, oh, the summer is a slow month, I don't really get clients now, or, this is not really a time where I get clients, focus your time doing other things. Like I said, speaking engagements, hosting events, curating ebooks, curating lookbooks. Maybe create a summertime offer for your audience that you know um, is virtual, so that way you can work with people all over at any time, and you can maybe teach them how to shop for their upcoming vacation. Whatever it is, use your time wisely. So instead of, oh, it's a slow time, it's a slow season, take advantage of that slow time and do some other things. Number two, your energy attracts opportunities. Clients and collaborators are drawn to stylists who exude confidence and positivity. So we already talked about confidence as being one of the top, I think I have 7 or 8 CEO stylist traits. I want to say we talked about confidence not last week, but the week before last. So definitely go back and watch that replay. But it's so important for you to be confident. You all have to understand that personal style is very subjective. So just because you think something is cute doesn't mean the next person will think it's cute. But just because that next person doesn't think that it's cute doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong, or that your your skills and your thoughts about style is completely wrong. No. Everybody's definition of cute and sexy and appropriate and approachable is completely different when it comes to style. But if you really stand firm on your beliefs and how you see things as the expert, then that's all that matters. Growth is knowing that your beliefs and understandings of everything that you do and everything that you stand for isn't gonna be, how can I say it, doesn't feel the same way for everybody else. So just because you think something is beautiful, or just because you think something is versatile, doesn't mean the next person will. But if you stand firm on that belief, and you have all the resources and all the understanding and all the expertise to back it up confidently, that's all that matters. And confidence is such a important trait for CEO stylists, because you're going to get people that don't see things the way that you see them. You're going to get people who don't understand things the way that you understand them. But when you are confidently, standing firm in that belief, then they're eventually going to believe, or if they don't ever, then they know, like, all right, she knows what she's talking about, because you're confident in how you're speaking and the energy that you're giving off. Optimism allows you to show up as magnetic and solution oriented, which builds trust in your expertise. Transparency is also something that I'm really big on, as far as like attracting the right clients, and honesty too, because I feel like in the fashion industry, there isn't a ton of honesty and transparency. Everybody's trying to look as if they have it put together, when in reality, they don't. So when it comes to my clients, I'm really big on telling them, like, look, in order for this to work, in order for me to best serve you, in order for me to solve your problems, you have to be honest with me, but you also have to be open to the experience that I'm putting you through. Because otherwise, if you're too stuck in your ways, this is not going to work. So being honest and being transparent with your clients, and you know being authentic to who you are, is really going to get you far in life. And I say this from experience, because for a lot of the time as a stylist, being young, I'm 31, most of my clients are older than me. I, for a long time, was trying my best to like show up professionally, be super mature, and do all these things that make me, a lot, make me seem, I guess, a lot more older than what I am, regardless of how I look. And it didn't feel like me. I mean, I tried my best to like put on this professional voice, um, you know, talk to individuals in a professional way. And I'm now in a space where I'm trying to like lean more into my authenticity and not be afraid to say how I feel and say my beliefs. And although I'm like that in front of my family and my friends, when it came to my clients and like my audience, it was completely different. So I'm now trying to pull myself out of that and, just be a lot better at showing up as my most authentic self with confidence, with confidence, because I know that that helps to build trust. So moving on to number 3, optimism creates clarity for growth. When you believe good things are possible, you make bold moves in your business, pitching yourself, raising your prices, and creating premium offers. So you already know, if you are familiar with Project Style University, that is what we do. I don't play around about the low rates. I don't play around about you second guessing yourself, feeling like, oh, that's too much. Nobody's going to pay for that. I've already been there and I've done that for you. I've already done that for you. I've done that work for you and it's not worth it. It's not. So, raising your prices and believing that you can offer a quality experience to your clients, even though you may not have done it before, or even though, you're afraid, it's still important for you to do it because you're worth every penny. And you won't, if you don't believe that you are worth every penny, if you don't believe the value that you hold, as a stylist and as a style expert, then your clients won't believe it either. So you first have to work on your confidence first and your abilities to, do what you're doing. Get your practice in. Do what you need to do to build on that confidence. But eventually, you're going to need to raise your prices. You're going to need to step into that CEO role like a boss. Because otherwise, no one is going to believe that you can do what you say that you can do. No one is going to want to hire you because one, your prices are too low. And two, they're not going to feel confident in you enough to even invest that much into what you're offering. So you have to be confident. You have to be confident and you have to move boldly. That means investing in yourself, investing in your business, pitching your business, and doing things scared. Optimism shifts you from what if it fails to what if it actually works. Just because you're unsure about, the outcome of something doesn't mean it won't work. Just because you're unsure about the outcome of something doesn't mean it won't work. I'm about to thread that because that's good. I, I'm like, where are these words coming from? God, let me write that down. Just because you are unsure of the outcome of something doesn't mean it won't work. Bars. Just because you're unsure of the outcome of something, or I can just say of the outcome, doesn't mean it won't work. Y'all have to take better chances on yourselves. You have to believe that you have the ability to make things happen with with prayer, with faith, with understanding in who you are and what you're capable of doing, even if you've never done something before, even if you've never experienced something before. You have to believe that it will work. And if it doesn't work the way that you believe it will work, it's still a lesson learned. There's nothing, I don't even believe in failures. There's no such thing as failing. There's no such thing as failing because everything that you do is a step closer to becoming the person that you always were or were always meant to be. There's no such thing as failing. There's no such thing. It's just an opportunity to grow, a lesson learned. I learned from every single thing that I've done, whether the outcome was what I expected it to be or whether it wasn't. So it's so important for you to keep that energy and continue to shift your mindset. So last but not least, practical ways to stay optimistic. Surround yourself with other motivated stylists. Y'all, you have to surround yourself with community. You cannot do this by yourself. So if you're not a part of the Hey Stylist community, join. It's free. Yesterday we had a content planning session and it was so good. It was so good. And the stylists they learned a lot. They were able to take notes and it really got them excited about this content challenge that we're doing starting Friday, tomorrow. So if you're not a part of the Hey Stylist community, this is your sign to join. It's completely free. And once you join, in order to take advantage of the community, you have to join the GroupMe. Otherwise, you won't, you really won't be able to get out of it exactly what you're looking for. Celebrate small wins, practice gratitude, and keep your vision front and center. So celebrating the small wins is crucial. Sometimes we think just because something isn't huge or we didn't make a ton of money or the numbers weren't big or not a lot of people, saw us or praised us, sometimes we don't think it's big enough to celebrate. But there are such things as small wins. Waking up is a small win because you didn't have to wake up today. Being able to cross off at least one thing on your to-do list that has been taking you months to complete, that is a small win that could be celebrated. Reaching 100 followers, that's a small win. 1,000 followers, that's a small win or a big one for you. Reaching 1K subscribers for me, that's a big win. I know we're talking about small wins, and to some people that may be considered small, but to me, that's a big win. So celebrating small and big wins. Practicing gratitude, being grateful for where you are, being grateful for what you have already. Your friends, your family, your support system, community, a job if you still have one, your business, your mind, your sound mind, eyes that work, ears that can hear, a voice that can talk, fingers that can type. Gratitude, being thankful, practicing gratitude. And keeping your vision front and center. We're all put on this earth to complete an assignment, sometimes multiple assignments. And if you don't have your end goals or that assignment in mind every single time you do something, then you're going to deviate away from the plan. You might fall off track a little bit. You have to stay focused. You have to stay focused and not get distracted by the little things that are trying to distract you. So I hope this live segment was helpful. I hope it taught you a lot about shifting your mindset, being open to what God is doing in your life, being positive, seeing things that may be considered negative as a positive thing, because not everything is negative, and or not everything has to be seen as negative. Just because a client says no doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Maybe they just weren't the right client for you. Maybe they would have been a terrible client to work with. Or maybe that no is leaning you or pushing you closer to your yes. Maybe that no is opening up space for a yes, a client who is even more perfect for you. So I hope this was helpful. Make sure you join the Hey Stylist community. And I will see y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in. And also let me know if you have any questions. Drop them in the comments. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.